So good evening, everyone. And today we have with us Jonali, who is going to be talking to us about the importance of Gandhi Jayanti and how it is important for us to remember that we can do a bit by taking up causes like supporting the handloom and the rural artisans. And so Khadi, let me tell you, Khadi means a hand-spun and hand-woven cloth. And in 1918, Mahatma Gandhi started his movement for Khadi as a relief program for poor masses living in India's villages. And spinning and weaving was elevated to an ideology for self-reliance and self-government. And today it's more relevant as villages can rely less on urban and industrial centers and government for clothing, jobs, economic growth. And it is time we increase the wardrobe of hand-woven natural clothing and uphold Gandhian view of rural industrialization. So over to Jonali, and she's the founder of HIA Crafts. And so over to you, Jonali, to give us some inspiration on this occasion.
Thank you so much, Bhumika, for having me over, and also very happy Gandhi Jayanti to you and everybody else on this call. It's a privilege, and also it's a pleasure in a different kind of a way, in a soul satisfying way, to be able to basically meet everyone on a forum like this. Bhumika had introduced me earlier on as an expert, but let me take that back. I cannot claim to be an expert because this field is vast and has a lot of different facets to it. I'll just share what I know, and I hope that it will help us today on this day of Gandhi Jayanti, the day of the birth of Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi, and how he spun a new narrative for Indian handloom, Indian cloth, how he defined the word Swadeshi, how he, wove these various, parts of Indian life, like the life of artisans, life of weavers, life of spinners, and ultimately wove to the great cloth or the tapestry that formed the movement for the freedom of India. So everything really was interconnected. I also, let me just share as a disclaimer that I have not ever done a very great research on how Mahatma Gandhi ji started this movement. I know, a little bit, but maybe today is a realization that I have to know a little more. And but yeah, I will just share what I know as the trigger for him to start this movement, and how today it is relevant all over again. It was always relevant, but today in these times, maybe we have discovered ourselves all over again. And let me just share a little bit of what I know in my experience as having worked in this sector for the last 8 years. So first of all, let me just share that handloom. I mean, what does it mean in the context of Gandhiji? So like you all know, Khadi and Mahatma Gandhi are interconnected, right? I mean, whenever we think of Mahatma Gandhi, few images come to us, and one of them is definitely Khadi. So Khadi is, what is Khadi? So Khadi is something that Mahatma Gandhi had started before anyone else even discovered the word or knew about the word or even made it some kind of a practice. So Mahatma Gandhi started Khadi movement by saying that we need to discard anything that is mill-made in the West. So how did it start? Like Bhumika just mentioned, it started in 1918, 1919, shortly after the Jallianwala Bagh massacre, as a response to that massacre, and saying that, we are not going to cooperate anymore. We are starting the non-cooperation movement. So it obviously has got a huge historical connection. And the word Khadi actually is a mix of many different things. It is not just a fabric. So I'm wearing a khadi sari. It is from this handloom, experted veteran called Uzaramma of Hyderabad. And so this is a khadi sari that I'm wearing today. And so what is khadi really? Khadi is hand spun cotton. So there was another step before khadi had come into effect. So there was this once after this non-cooperation movement started, and Gandhiji said that let's discard Western cloth. So the first reaction was to weave the cloth in by our weavers, by Indian weavers, saying that we are going to wear only our own cloth, which is which is woven by our people. But what was observed there is that it was observed that we were buying the yarn. So, like cloth has to be made from yarn. Like anything is made, the raw material for cloth is yarn. So, yarn has to be procured. Yarn has to be first obtained, and then the cloth can be made. So, when they started doing that, the weavers started doing that, what they observed was that the yarn came from the West only, because it was made in the mills there. Now that's another story, that what happened to the Indian yarn, before that time. So before that, and that will probably take another session to, even discuss what happened to the great Indian yarn making capability. So that was actually destroyed by the British even before this event in history, because they wanted to promote the mills of England. So because Gandhiji saw that handloom weaving actually only increased the business of the West, because the weavers were buying the mill spun yarn, that's when he said, okay, now we have to uh, spin our own yarn. And what does spinning mean? Spinning means to take out the thread from the cotton ball, right? And make it into thread that can be woven. So that is what spinning means. So therefore, the handloom movement of Gandhiji is not just weaving. It's a very huge, a component of that is actually spinning the khadi. That means spinning our own yarn. So this was the entire context, and why khadi and handloom weaving had started. And then I was just reading a little while before our call started, that how he has described in his book, My Experiments with Truth, about the birth of khadi. So I just quote a few lines from his book, which was written by him. He says that. Yes. He says the birth of khadi, the chapter is called Birth of Khadi, just a few sentences. I do not remember having seen a handloom or spinning wheel when in 1908 I described it in Hind Swaraj as a panacea for the growing pauperism of India. In that book, I took it as understood that anything that helped India to get rid of the grinding poverty of her masses would, in the same process, also establish Swaraj. So then he goes on to say that, I have never actually seen a spinning wheel. When the Satyagraha ashram was founded at Sabarmati, we introduced a few handlooms there. But no sooner had we done this than we found ourselves up against a difficulty. All of us belonged to either to liberal professions or to business, and no one was a handloom weaver or an artisan. So then he goes on to say how they hired or got a weaving expert from Palanpur, and then how he was made to teach everybody. And then the entire staff of Sabarmati resolved to only wear handloom, and they discarded all their sort of the mill-made and the West-made clothes. So therefore, it has also taken for him a few years to realize what, so he, like he said, he had, sort of talked about the poverty of India, but he also did not know a solution. And then when he stumbled upon this spinning as a way to end that poverty, then they first showed it in action by embracing it in the ashram, and then it spread like wildfire throughout India. Now, it's a very interesting thing that today, I think, in this forum, we are a lot of women here. And, there is a very, it is not often probably discussed or, sort of referred. But one of the things that happened in this entire weaving of khadi and this, weaving of handloom and the spinning of khadi is that it has a relationship with women, with ladies. So what had happened was, and it's a very interesting observation, it also contributed to establishment of women as a as a sort of a contributor to India's freedom struggle, and also made her, in some way, her self-esteem had gone up and made her self-reliant also. So, like I have just said, that spinning requires someone to take out the thread from a cotton ball. After that, the thread is made, and only then the fabric can be woven. So now, in all of this, the role of the woman was very important, because men had to go out to, fend for whatever the family, to go and work outside. And the women were mostly given, or women naturally took it upon themselves to do the spinning. And so they did. And we all have that image of that spinning wheel of Kasturba also spinning her own yarn, and Gandhiji, of course. So, that was a whole, huge point for, where a big change had happened, a big transformation had happened, where women started to spin the yarn. And also, in a way, they contributed to the freedom struggle of India, because they felt that it was, it's not about them feeling, they got people to buy the yarn from them, and that made them feel very, very empowered and motivated to do more and more. So this is the way in which this entire three, pillars of khadi cloth, that is khadi yarn, that is self-spun yarn, handloom weaving, and third, women. These three pillars came together, and they were, till that point in time, sort of under some kind of a cloud. It was not fully explored. And once it was explored, it became a revolution. So khadi was really a way to express your nationalism. So the whole the sentiment of nationalism, rejection of Western cloth, then even, yes, self-reliance, Atmanirbharshilta, the way we have discovered this time, this year, and of course all the other virtues of purity, that, because there isn't any other yarn or anything synthetic that is mixed here. It is directly from the farm. The cotton ball has come. From the cotton ball, the yarn has been spun. From the yarn, the cloth has been spun, which you are going to wear. So it was just like what we say, farm to table. It was a farm to, dress, or a farm to body kind of a concept. And that is what made people feel doubly motivated to be part of the struggle to get freedom. So, and that stayed on, that carried on, of course, over the years. And yes, it stayed in various forms and ways. However, after that, a lot of things changed in the country. After the independence, the new Indian government was formed. Then it went through a lot of liberalization, of course, in the late 80s and 90s. And before that, it was a stage where India was also discovering herself. People were getting educated. They were leaving for Western countries and establishing themselves. So it was there, but yet it was also lost. The whole appreciation and embracing of handloom was possibly there only in the form of saris that women used to wear, because the best of our saris are having the best of handloom heritage of that particular state. So that remained in that form. Apart from that, it was not a very, it was not something that India really, identified with. It was looking for a new identity. It was looking for education. It was looking for jobs. It was looking for prosperity. It was looking for, identification with the rest of the world. And then, like we know, when 2000, came, then the same spate of growth, etc., has happened. And then now we are in 2020, but before 2020, there about 10 years or 8 years back, it was good to see a kind of a renaissance, or a like a discovery of the handloom culture of India. And this came about, like everyone goes through, I guess, a process of self-discovery. So maybe it was that, maybe after 60 years of independence, India and Indians were again looking to discover themselves, and therefore, and mostly led by women. And we must definitely pat ourselves on our backs, because women, as women, we have been carrying the tradition of handloom since the days, not only of Mahatma Gandhi's days, even from before. And Mahatma Gandhi definitely gave it a new new flavor. He launched it as a movement, and then he discovered khadi, which was, of course, not a very well known or very well identified term, and that he had given. So it was a great movement. It was a great discovery of a facet of India that Indians were not aware of themselves. And so when this rediscovery happened, I think about 10 years back, and why I am saying is that because as a practitioner, as an ardent supporter, and also having started to work in the sector, um, because of the way in which the people, the ones who, the artisans, the weavers, the spinners, the dyers, in spite of making the most beautiful products, they are one of those who live in penury. They are artists, about 200 million artisans across the country, who are only next to agriculture in terms of employment generating sectors, have a life which is very unpredictable. Sometimes they have work and sometimes they do not have. So, so why should this happen? I mean, we have some of the best cottons. I mean, in fact, at one point in time, India was having the best cotton in the whole world. And that's the one thing that I said we'll take another session. India was producing the best quality cotton, but systematically that cotton production was also reduced to nothing by the British, because they wanted to establish their sort of supremacy. And therefore that part of history is also very sad. But yes, the cotton fields are there. Farmers are making cotton, so we have cotton now. Cotton is one thing. Now I would like to just share a few other observations, and even from my own working. So I have started an organization, or we have an organization in which we are focusing mostly on artisans who are women, because we feel that women have been one of the strongest backbones of the Indian handloom and handicrafts heritage. And when I say backbone, I mean they are contributors. They prepare the entire cotton. Like I said earlier, even during Gandhiji's time, they spin the yarn. They sometimes even go, cultivate the yarn on the farms. They spin the yarn after that. Then they use the yarn to make the cloth. And even before weaving a cloth, there's a lot of process. So that's called the, pre-weaving process. So, and the post-weaving process. Those processes are typically always done by women in any part of India. So that is one sector, where women's contribution is very high. But women are not often recognized or rewarded, or they, even more fundamentally, they do not get an income from doing the work that they do. So which is why, I had started this organization where we work with women who have skills in handloom weaving, and not only weaving, spinning as well. So spinning, like I said, we've been referring to mostly in terms of cotton spinning. But there are also a few other, yarns, For example, there is a kind of a silk which is called the eri silk, which is available in certain parts of India and primarily in Northeast, and which also needs to be spun exactly like cotton. So silk is typically not spun. The other kinds of silk cannot be spun because they are silky, they are filamentous. But this eri silk is like cotton, so it is spun. So in
So,
fact,
so Junali, we would, really want to listen to the entire technicalities of it. We will have another session with you
yeah,
with
I think,
all these
yeah,
details covering so much.
sure, sure.
And
Yeah, I
knowing
think, maybe what I didn't do was check with you at the time.
that's
So
fine.
I think I'm,
This was a very good introduction, Janali. And we will have a separate session with Janali again
sure, sure,
and
sure.
answering all the questions that we might have had after listening to women and the Swaraj and the rural movement. So I
Yes,
just want to add towards the uh, you know end of your talk that about that we have a family doctor, like family lawyer, family we have family accountant, family friends, and it's time that we have family weavers, and family farmers and other artisans too. So that we should have a way to lead a natural, organic, and sustainable life, and that's
yes,
something that it gets reiterated by um, listening to talks like these. And thank you so much for motivating all of us. And
sure,
we will try to do our bit in this part of keeping the movement going, and let's walk towards that path once again. Um, so,
sure, sure. Yes, I think that. Thank you so much, Bhumika, again. I mean, yes, certainly. I think
yeah,
today's
thank you.
probably,
Yes.
we have less time, and of course also, today's
We
today's
have the
context. I
yoga
would just
session
like
which
to
will
say
be
that.
starting now.
Sure.
So,
So we can move. I mean, you can move over. I probably will have to leave now. I have something else also at this moment, unless it's something that you feel I can join for about 5 minutes or so. I can certainly do that.
So we will have ongoing sessions on this series of talks about
Sure.
learning more about these concepts that you have brought about today on the weavers and the rural artisans, and how we can do a bit in encouraging, and especially during these COVID times, how we can support these people who you
Yeah.
said are highly skilled, but they get work on and off, and it's not a constant income they get. So
Right.
whatever we can do our bit, we will try to support. So any questions, we can ask Jonali later over a chat, and you can also leave it in the chat box, and we can get back to Jonali with the questions. So moving on to the yoga session today, everybody. So thanks, Jonali. If you wish, you can continue with us. Otherwise, you can drop.
Yeah. So I would have loved to accept that. I know I'm dressed in a sari today, and I don't think it will be very,
We all
wise of
have
me to start.
dressed in handloom today, most of us. So
Okay.
We used to wear handloom. It's a cotton kurta.
Yeah. No.
you're wearing
So
a cotton kurta.
I'll probably have to drop out, Bhumika. So excuse me. I do have something else now. So thank
Sure,
you
thank
so
you
much
so much.
again for having me over, and also making me dress in khadi today on the Gandhi Jayanti. So because of the call, I got to dress. So
Really
thank you so
wonderful.
much.
That's nice.
Thank you so much once again, and yes, continue with your good work in making women fit. And we'll see you soon sometime, virtually at least, if not in real.
Thank you,
Bye bye.
Janali. Bye.
Sure.
Thank
Bye.
you so
Thank you
much.
so
Happy
much.
Gandhi
Bye bye.
Jayanti again. Yeah.
Yes, same to you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Bye.
Bye bye.
Let's come onto a mat. I'm going to mute everyone. Beginning to sit in prayer position with your palms at the center of your chest, and the eyes are closed. Inhaling, stretch your palms up to the ceiling. Exhale. Inhale up. Exhale. Gently turning, twisting to the right. And twist to the left. Moving on to Kapalbhati, we are going to do 10 on the left nostril, 10 on the right, and 20 both the nostrils. Inhale passive, exhale active. Closing the right nostril, begin.
I love my credit card bill. Let me explain.
20 both the nostrils. Once you're done, moving on to Bhastrika. In Bhastrika, inhale and exhale both active. Doing this for 100 counts, keeping the eyes closed and spine straight. Let's begin. Twenty,
Mutate.
40, 60, 80, last 20 rapid. Once you're done, keeping your eyes closed and your spine remains straight, stay there and feel the silence. Gently coming on, both your feet, standing up. Inhale to open your chest. Exhale, curve your spine. Inhale, curve. Exhale. Inhale, move your chest forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Inhale. Exhale to neutral. Inhale. Your right palm goes to the left shoulder and turn towards the left. And neutral. Inhale, turn to the right. Left palm goes to the right shoulder and turn. Neutral. Inhale, left. Neutral. Left palm to the right shoulder and turn to the right. Neutral. Inhale to the left. One last time. Left palm to the right shoulder and turn. Neutral. Right palm to the left shoulder and turn. And gently release. Inhale. Bring your palms up. Exhale and take your right palm down and left palm goes up, look up. Inhale. Exhale to the other side. Look up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Neutral to the left. And release. Now lock your elbows and take them overhead. Exhale to the right. Neutral to the left. Neutral. Right. Neutral. Left. Neutral. Right. Neutral. And left. Neutral. Now gently taking your feet away from each other, placing your palms on the mat at the center. Right palm up, and then your left palm up. Taking your palms to the ankles and spreading out further. Trying to get the crown of your head closer to the mat. Then bring your palms back, coming back with your feet together. You're going to inhale, exhale, elbows up. Inhale, exhale, raise your elbows up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, and exhale. And slowly release. Now coming at the back of your mat, fingers pointing to the ceiling, and go down, exhaling, and walk your palms into a plank. And go down into a cobra, inhaling, and downward dog. Go down, cobra, downward dog, cobra, downward dog, and on your knees, and coming into a sitting position. Sit up straight in a cross-legged position. Your palms resting on your knees. You're going to inhale Push your ribs forward. Your chest comes forward. Exhale and lower your ribs in. Chin to the chest. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale slowly. Inhale, ribs turn in. Expand the chest. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale, ribs come forward. Chest expands and lower your ribs on exhale. And gently changing your palms on your knees. Take a deep inhale and exhale. On exhale, begin exhale slowly and ha. Make a sound ha when you exhale. Take a deep breath. Inhale. Ha. Ha. On exhale, do a ha. Inhale deep, slowly. Exhale, ha. Inhale. Exhale, ha. Inhale. Exhale, ha. 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 And release. And now take your elbows up, palms facing the floor. Inhale, open your chest and elbows go back. Look up. Exhale, palms towards each other. Inhale. Exhale. 3 more times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And release. Gently taking your palms up. Inhaling, hands go up, palms facing each other. Exhale, lower your arms. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Now slowly coming onto your knees. Manchali-asana, cat cow pose. All your fours. Inhale, stretch your spine. 1, 2, 3, 4. And exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Curve your spine. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And gently taking your palms away from the mat, placing your left palm on the front of your hip, right palm goes towards the heel, and raise your left palm towards the ceiling, reaching out, open your chest. Gentle lower back stretch. Hold, push your hips up to intensify the stretch. And release your left and your right. Placing your right palm in front of your hip. Left palm goes behind towards the heel and reach out with your right palm towards the ceiling. Expand your chest. And release your right and then your left. Gently going down into Shashankasana. Keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Relaxing the forehead to the mat. And your hands stretched out above your head. Coming into sleeping position on your back. On your back, your feet stretched out and gently taking your feet close to your sit bones. Now flop your knees towards each other and your lower back to the floor. This has a restorative effect, relaxing your back. Let your knees touch each other and your lower back to the mat. Stay there. Now taking your palms a little higher at 90 to your body. Now flop both your knees towards the right. Take your right foot on top of the left knee, intensifying the stretch. And keep your eyes closed. Gently taking both your knees towards the left. Place your left foot on top of the right knee. Shoulders remain on the mat. And release. Getting your knees up. Bring your right knee to the chest. And release. Left knee to the chest. And bringing both the knees towards your chest and holding and rolling up and down. A gentle massage for your back. And release. Today we are going to do a different type of meditation. You can either be in a sitting position or you can be in a sleeping position or you can take a comfortable posture, but not some people sit very upright and shoulders are very tight and stiff. So avoid doing that. Today's meditation is about nurture and care. So you can be in a sleeping position like Savasana, or you can be in a meditative upright position, but not too stiff. Okay, dimming the lights of your room. Either your eyes are closed or you can keep it open if you think that it's more comfortable. You can use pillows. Sit on a sofa. So today's meditation, we are going to be focusing on self-care. We often neglect our basic needs. There is stress, there is irritation. So in this session, we are going to practice reconnecting with ourselves. Practice listening to what our deeper needs are. If you haven't already done so, find a comfortable posture. In this practice of self-care, it's particularly important step. Taking a posture for meditation without getting too stiff. In this meditation, I want you to listen to your body and listen to what it does. What does it need at the present moment? Let's start by taking one deep breath, breathing through the nose and breathing out from the mouth. 3 more times. Deep breath at your own pace. Letting your jaw to relax and soften, inviting your shoulders to be at ease, inviting your belly to relax, giving the body some permission to relax, to know where you need to go. Soften and relax your body. Quality of self-care is much more about tuning into your present. Take a minute to tune in, bringing your attention to your breath. If your mind wanders, gently bring its attention back to your breath. Doing this for a minute. This capacity to tune into ourselves is our gateway to who we are, to our minds, and to our bodies. Taking a particular quality, curiosity, thinking about curiosity, it's just about what's here now, what is in this moment. See what it will be like to take this perspective of curiosity, take any aspect of your thoughts, your sensation, gently wondering for yourself, to do this exploration of curiosity for yourself. Give yourself a minute and see what arises through this exploration of yourself. Just drop into one aspect of that exploration. It could be pain in one part of the body. It could be a thought. It could be something that is nagging you. Just pay attention to it and say that I see you, I hear you, and is there any way that I can help you? Offer yourself to it. Notice how that part of you responds. We have to be our own friends, offering ourselves to that aspect of our exploration and saying and reiterating that I see you, I hear you, and is there any way that I can help? In the last few moments, let's reconnect ourselves to our breath for a moment, bringing our attention to it with lovingness and gentleness. Before you transition into a sleep for a minute, keeping your eyes closed, and continue. Gently bringing the awareness back to your body, moving your fingers, your toes, and stretching your whole body, locking your palms above you, and stretching your hands above your head, and coming into a comfortable sitting position. Moving on to Brahmari. Brahmari, you close your ears with your index fingers and blowing air from your pursed lips like a bumblebee for 3 times. Let's begin. And release gently and stay there, feeling the silence. Moving on to Anulom Vilom. Anulom Vilom, your right hand in Vishnu Mudra. Close your right nostril with your thumb. Inhale for 1 from the left nostril. Hold the breath for 2. Exhale from the right nostril for 2. Inhale from the right nostril for 1. Hold the breath for 2. Exhale from the left nostril for 2. Let's continue this for 9 more times at your own pace. Doing it very gently. Once you're done, keeping your palms on the knees and staying there in silence, meditating for a few minutes. Moving on to Surya Bed. In Surya Bed, you inhale from the right, exhale from the left. Continue 10 times. Gently placing your palms at the center of your chest for Omkara. When you do Omkara, the vibrates through your navel area. Who vibrates through the center of your chest and more through the eyebrow center. Feel the vibrations as you do Omkara. Taking a deep breath. Gently rubbing your palms together, generating heat, taking them over your lower back, on your legs, knees, rubbing the palms together again, taking them over your shoulders, your palms, and opening your eyes into your palm with a few blinks. And namaste. Happy Gandhi Jayanti to all of you, and see you tomorrow again. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhumika.
Thanks, Bhumika. Thank you.
Thank
Bhumika.
you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Any aches and pains from your previous workout?
No.
No?
No.
Lata, everything fine?
Yeah, Bhumika.